right? That'd be super cool. If you align to the big goal, it starts getting narrow and narrow and narrow and narrow until there's like this finite thing. You'll have more resistance and more change the closer it is to your reality. 6 figures to doing it in a weekend took literally less effort than the whole year of making 6 figures.
So you said then you go to the next level, but how do you know where to start? Because I have like these small goals, and then but I really want these bigger goals. Can I just go straight for the bigger goals?
Yeah, that's a good question. So you can align for the bigger ones, but I like to think about it like this. So if you have a really big goal, let's say, it's like, oh, I want to make, maybe you've never made even $10,000 in a year. Let's say that would be big. So then maybe my goal is like, I want to make $1 million in a year, right? That'd be super cool. So that I had that goal back when I was making like 13 grand. I thought it would be really cool one day. I never really thought I could, but I entertained the idea like, I would like that. Like, why not? Like, I could do that, right? So you have these big goals. If you align to the big goal, it starts getting narrow and narrow and narrow and narrow until there's like this finite thing. You'll have more resistance and more change the closer it is to your reality. So if I align to something big, it's almost too vague and not close to my reality. So therefore, my allergies and addictions toward it are going to be less. Versus this, maybe it's 10,000 in a month.
Like you hit the nerve.
Yeah. It's like saying, okay, $1 million's so impossible that I don't even know what that means. Because I don't even know what 10,000 means. Right? So then as soon as I'm like, well, what's 10,000? Well, 10,000 is amplified my 1,000 by 10. Ooh, that's real. Like, I know what that would be like. That sucks. That's hard. That's difficult. That's going to be a lot of work. Versus $1 million, it's like impossible. It's not even in my realm of reality. So you can do these. These ones you'll want to definitely anchor. Because when you anchor these, then you'll just work through your identity as you're progressing up. So I always anchor my big ones because it helps me move towards the thing that I want. But then I work religiously and relentlessly on these ones. And I move up quick. So I'm like, what's the next goal that I want to hit that I'm resisting? I'm going to work on that, nail it. Then I go to the next one and the next one. And before you know it, you're here. Okay, you call it align with purpose or progress. It's kind of like a stair ladder too. Think about it like this. If I have, that's a stair. Okay, so let's say you're here, right? And your income goal is like 10K. Okay, cool. I need to confront that and work on it. Let's say your ultimate goal is $1 million. Well, you only see this right now. You're like, I can only see the blocks that I'm actually working on right now. You don't even know what block is going to be up here because it's a whole different skill set. So there's going to be a whole nother resistance to all those skills. So think about each goal has its own top of the equation that you need to work through. The skills, the work, and the focus. So if I'm like, hey, 10K, that requires a certain skill set a month. So I'm going to be like, sweet. What resistance do I have to that skill set? I'm going to align it. Then I go to doing 100K or the next level, whatever it is. Different skill set, different amount of confronting, different teams, different things that you have to implement, which causes new resistances, new allergies and addictions to pop up. Work through that, then you get to the next level. It's like, oh.
Before you go to the next level?
What's that?
Are you hitting that goal before?
Yeah.
Next
Yeah.
level? Okay.
Yeah, you hit it, then you work on the next thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So once you hit it, then you're like, you set a new goal, and you're like, oh, cool, well, I would love to make 500K. That's super cool. And then you're like, holy crap, that's a new level of skills, new set, and new responsibilities, new everything. So it's going to make you confront new things, different things. Align to those things, then you go to the next one. And the cool thing about aligning is you never stop, right? You can be satisfied in any area, but you're always going to be progressing in life. Like, the fun of life is progress. It's growth. Tony Robbins talks a lot about how the purpose of life is growth. So if you're not growing, you're missing out on your purpose. And so if you're always growing, then aligning is super intelligent, because that's going to be the next thing that you can work through, the resistance, to get there quicker. So you could do the big one first if you wanted to. I call them like overarching big goals. You can do these just to put you in the right direction. Usually what I find, though, is when you do an alignment, get in a state of alignment with this, these usually aren't overnighters. They're like, hey, now I'm at least going towards this thing, and you'll actually have opportunities start happening to put you on that trajectory a lot faster. So I love doing big goals, because what you think is big doesn't become as big as you align to it. And you're like, hey, I thought this was crazy, but it's not. Like, for me to go from 6 figures to doing it in a weekend took literally less effort than the whole year of making 6 figures. And I thought it was this huge thing, but it was a lack of a skill set. And once I aligned to that, then I learned the skill set, and then it happened really quick. Like, if we're wanting to get to this, you have to let go of what's working here. If you want to get to this, you have to let go of what's working here to get to here. And the 10X is Easier Than 2X book talks a lot about that, where you have to be willing to let go of what's working, because what's got you today is not going to get you to that next level. So yeah, it's kind of that balance, but I always look at, make sure I'm not doing it out of any fear or any push or pull. Because if it's out of that, always something's going to come out and screw up. So I always want to be like, I'm making sure I'm very clear, I'm confronting things, I'm working through stuff, and I'm not settling, and I can just work through it all and make sure I'm in integrity in all the stuff that I'm doing. Because if you settle to allow somebody in there to do something, it's going to affect it down the road, and it's going to stunt you from what you actually want until you finally come to that conclusion and let go of it, and then it pops. Hey, what's up? I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you would like to learn more about what you just experienced or watched, then in the description, I actually have written a book called The Alignment Effect. And in the book, we go in details of how to align and the power inside of you. So if you'd like to learn how to get results a lot faster and reprogram not just your mind, but your cellular memory, then check out the description and grab that book called Alignment Effect. It will completely alter how you think and live your life. Was it me? No, it was each and every one of you. So we all chose to do that. No one forced you. No one made you. You chose, which is freaking awesome.